you ever stumbled upon something that feels like a secret history of the entire universe? One that connects ancient gods, secret societies, and some kind of modern cosmic agenda? Well, today we are going deep, deep down that rabbit hole. We're going to follow a single, mysterious name that seems to tie it all together. Our journey starts with this wild chart from the Deep State Mapping Project. Now, at first glance, it just looks like some kind of complicated religious family tree. But the people who made it claim it's way more than that. They say it's a map of reality itself, a map connecting Gnosticism, European royalty, the Knights Templar, and a massive war between light and darkness. So, to really get what's going on here, we have to understand the map first. This isn't just a random list of names. It's basically a blueprint for a Gnostic view of the universe, a whole story about creation, a great fall, and a very, very different idea of salvation. Okay, so what's really fascinating here is how this map splits everything in two. Up at the top, you've got the pleroma, the realm of light. Think of it as a perfect, purely spiritual dimension. But then below this barrier of the realms, you have our world, the realm of darkness. That's the physical universe we're all living in. And for the Gnostics, our universe wasn't some divine masterpiece. It was more like a flawed copy, a cosmic mistake even. And, like any good drama, this one has some major players. You've got Sophia, whose name means wisdom. She's a divine being from the light, but she made a move that accidentally created our material world. This whole mess led to the creation of the Demiurge, a flawed, kind of arrogant creator god who genuinely thinks he's the one and only god. And working for him, the Archons, 365 of them, all ruling over this physical reality. All right, let's go back to that main chart for a second. If you look really close, way up high in the chain of command for the realm of darkness, right under that barrier between the worlds, there's a name that just jumps out: Abraxas. He seems incredibly important, sitting above all 365 heavens. But who or what is he exactly? So, according to the old Gnostic texts and mystical traditions, Abraxas is the great archon. He's the chief, the boss of all those other 365 rulers. His name was carved on ancient gems and amulets, things people thought held real magical power. He's a really complex figure. Sometimes he's seen as a god who holds both good and evil inside him, the light and the dark, all in one. To put it simply, in this system, he's the one in charge. But here's the thing that's so puzzling. For a being that seems so critical to this whole structure, there's surprisingly little written about him in the ancient texts. It's like a huge piece of the story is just missing. So how on earth could we find out more about a mythological entity from 2,000 years ago? Well, this is where our investigation is about to get really modern and, frankly, really weird. Yeah, forget digging through dusty old scrolls. Our next source of information comes from a place you would never, ever expect: an internet forum thread from back in 2010. And this is where the ancient mystery of Abraxas crashes right into the modern world of extraterrestrial contact. Because think about it. What if you didn't have to piece together clues from fragmented old texts? What if this ancient, super powerful being could just tell you his side of the story, directly, in his own words? Well, that's exactly what one of our sources claims happened. And this slide just lays out the incredible shift in our story perfectly. On the left, you've got the historical Abraxas, the Gnostic archon, ruler of the heavens. But on the right, you've got the entity from these forum posts, who claims to be something else entirely, a 12th-dimensional being from the star system Thuban, which, by the way, is also known as Alpha Draconis. This is the moment where everything just flips. In a 2010 forum post, a user with the handle Abraxas introduces himself as Cybard Beardress, a founding elder of this Council of Thuban. He claims he's speaking from completely outside our universe of space and time, getting ready to enter it as part of some grand cosmic event. So, a 12th dimensional draconian entity says it's here. The next logical question has to be, what does it want? Well, according to these posts, this isn't some random visit. It's all part of a very detailed master plan for planet Earth, a plan they call the Ascension of Gaia. So here's their story. The Thubans claim to be the oldest creator race in the entire universe. They say they aren't just visitors. They have a deep genetic link to us. They claim humanity has dragon blood and dragon seed. And their whole purpose for being here
to manage and oversee a profound transformation of our planet.
And the plan they lay out is just cosmic on an unbelievable scale. It starts with a message coming from the galactic core. They say this signal will trigger a rift in space-time, which will open a 12-dimensional wormhole right at the center of the Earth. That wormhole is their front door into our reality, and its opening is supposed to coincide with Earth itself ascending into a higher dimension. A benevolent plan from our ancient cosmic family to help us evolve. I mean, it sounds pretty great, doesn't it? But another researcher who dug into these forum posts suggests we need to look much, much closer at the specific words they're using, especially a term they use for this whole event, the harvest.
Right, so a researcher named Wes Penra spent a lot of time just deconstructing everything Abraxas has said on that forum. And his analysis doesn't just take their word for it. Instead, he starts asking some pretty tough questions about what the Council of Thuban is really up to.
Penray points to this one specific moment late in the forum thread where the entity gets into a heated argument and seems to reveal way more than it meant to. Penrick basically argues that in this one moment, the friendly mask slips off and the real terrifying agenda behind the harvest becomes crystal clear. So what's really going on here? Well, first, Penray highlights that this entity claims to be a walk-in. That's a non-physical being that has taken over a human host. Second, he connects this to other research on draconians, like the work of Alex Collier, who describes their philosophy as fear rules and love is weak. And then comes the real kicker. The Thuban state flat out that they aren't here to help with the harvest. They are here because they are in charge of it. And that right there leaves us with the ultimate question. When a race that some researchers claim sees the weak as nothing more than slaves tells you that they are in charge of a planetary harvest, does that really sound like a spiritual ascension? Or does it start to sound like something else entirely? It's a question that takes us right back to where we started, doesn't it? Back to an ancient chart and a powerful ruler presiding over the realm of darkness.